why researching autoimmune cures creates more flare-ups and what to do instead. You signed up for another anti-inflammation masterclass, listened to another podcast, saved another protocol, and still your heart's racing, your chest feels tight, and that pain in your hip is worse today than it was yesterday. So here's what just happened. The moment you started searching, your nervous system started hunting, went straight into fight or flight. Your body flooded with cortisol and adrenaline. Your immune system went on high alert, and that search you thought would give you answers, well, it just created the exact inflammation pattern you were trying to understand. I'm Nancy Ma, physical therapist and the Autoimmune Freedom Coach. And if you've been stuck in the research loop, Googling symptoms, listening to podcast after podcast, reading study after study, I need you to hear this. Your body can't heal while you're telling it that it's broken and needs to be fixed. So every time you open another tab trying to figure this out, you're accidentally reinforcing the exact stress response that's keeping your symptoms alive. So in this video, I want to show you why researching autoimmune solutions can actually create more inflammation in your body and what to do instead if you actually want to heal. Why your brain is wired to believe the worst when you Google your anti-inflammation strategies. You're not looking for balanced information. You're looking for confirmation of your fear. And here's why this matters. Your brain has something called the reticular activating system. Its job is to filter reality. Once your brain believes something might be wrong, that system starts scanning the world for evidence to focus on to support that belief. So when you type something like anti-inflammation for joint pain or migraine or brain fog relief, Google doesn't show you the most likely explanation first. It shows you all the things that could possibly be wrong with you, starting with the scariest. So cancer, brain tumor, incurable diseases. Even if there are 20 completely benign explanations further down the page, when you're already anxious and your body is already in pain, your brain locks into the dangerous ones because fear narrows your focus. And that's what the reticular activating system does. It helps your brain focus on something. So you're not going to believe the article that says, well, it might just be muscle tension, or it could just be stress. You're going to believe the one that says, this could be something serious. And the moment you believe that, your body responds as if it's true. That's what your immune system does. Your shoulders tense up, your breath gets shallow, your heart rate increases. Now you're not just reading about symptoms, you're creating them. So I had a client who had chronic hip pain, PMR, and she knew what her symptoms was. She had an x-ray. She knows what she was dealing with. But then her friend had cancer and was telling her, hey, this sounds something like what I have. And then she started to freak out and then she couldn't sleep. And then she Googled it. And of course, every symptom she was feeling lined up with what her friend told her. And that's the problem. When you have more information, it sends your nervous system mixed signals. So here's something else that most people don't realize when they're searching for answers. Every time you search for more information about your symptoms, you're telling your body two completely opposite things. On one hand, you're trying to reassure yourself and you're thinking, if I just understand this, I'll feel better. Makes sense. But on the other hand, the act of searching is screaming to your nervous system, something is wrong. We're not safe. We need to find the threat and extinguish it. So imagine this. You wake up in the morning and you tell yourself, my body is healing. I trust this process. That's a much better signal to yourself. That's a signal of safety. But then at 2 in the afternoon, you feel a twinge in your hip. You immediately grab your phone and Google natural anti-inflammatories for hip pain. And now you don't even have to Google it. The algorithm just knows that you just had a flare-up and will send you images straight to your phone. Your nervous system just got a whiplash. Now, it doesn't know what message to believe. Are we safe? Are we in danger? And when you're not sure, your nervous system is going to err on the side of caution and it's going to sound the alarm. It gets confused and so it will default to protection, which means cortisol stays elevated, your immune system stays elevated, inflammation stays super high. Your body cannot heal in a system that's getting mixed signals all day long. It's one of the biggest mixed signals you can send. Let's talk about what actually happens physiologically when you start researching symptoms. The moment you begin searching for answers, your sympathetic nervous system activates. That's your fight or flight response. You're on the hunt. You're scanning for danger or scanning for food. Your body thinks you're trying to survive something. Your heart rate increases, your blood pressure rises, digestion slows down because your body is redirecting all its energy towards dealing with a perceived threat. So here's the important part. Your body can't tell the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. It doesn't know you're just sitting on the couch, reading an article on your phone. All it knows is you're focused on danger. You're scanning for problems, you're searching for what could go wrong, or you're searching for a problem to fix. That is the definition of survival mode. Now, if this happens once and you get reassurance, no problem. Your nervous system resets. But if you're constantly researching symptoms and solutions every day, multiple times a day, weeks, months, or even years, your nervous system never learns a safety response. You're living in chronic stress, and chronic stress is one of the biggest drivers of autoimmune flares and inflammation. So here's why this loop traps so many intelligent women. Because you're smart, you're capable, and you're used to solving problems by gathering information. So when your body started doing things you didn't understand, of course you turned to research. I do it too. It happens to all of us. And you thought, if I just learn enough, if I just find the right protocol, the perfect protocol, if I understand the mechanism and I do all the research, I'll be able to pick. Then you'll be able to fix it, right? But here's what actually happens instead. The more you research, the more out of control you felt. Because every article gave you 10 new things to think about. And every study contradicted the last one. And every podcast had a different opinion. Cut out dairy. No, wait, dairy's fine. It's your gut. No, it's your mitochondria. No, it's mold, parasites, trauma, your mental health, your relationship. And you don't get any clarity. What did you get instead? Overwhelm. Because research doesn't actually give you control. It gives you the illusion of control. And that illusion keeps you stuck in the loop. You think you're protecting yourself by staying informed, but what you're actually doing is teaching your body that there's always something wrong and that you're broken and that you need to be fixed. There's always another threat to find when you're researching, and a body that believes it's broken cannot even relax enough to heal. So here's something that I would love for you to know. Information does not help you heal. Strategies do. Actually, strategies that you implement will actually help you heal. And the honest truth is, there's so many strategies out there that work. More work than don't. The problem is, if you're still spending all this time researching, you'll be stuck in analysis paralysis and you don't actually make a move. So let's pause for a moment. So speaking of strategies, I created a free training that will help you move from information gathering to transforming your health. In this training, I show you the exact framework that I use to help myself heal from chronic inflammation and the same framework that I use to help so many of my clients. So this is not just more information. This is a strategy designed to help strong women, smart women who have done it all and they still feel stuck. So if that's you, hop on the link below and access your free training now. So here's the pattern I see over and over. You have a diagnosis or mystery symptoms. You watch all these videos, you listen to podcasts, and for every valuable piece of information you find 10 other sources that negate it. So the algorithm feeds you more information to make you feel good. And so then you watch more and more. And then before you know it, you're addicted. You're not feeling good because you're actually implementing advice. No, you're feeling good from a neurotransmitter called dopamine, because every time you get a new video that says something that you believe, that you're like, yeah, that makes sense, I like her, that gives you that hit of dopamine. But the reassurance never sticks. The dopamine crashes. And so you watch more and more because you're looking for external reassurance. You're hoping that something outside of you will tell you that you're okay. And that works for a tiny moment. But external reassurance never creates internal safety. So even if you found a video that told you exactly what you wanted to hear, your nervous system wouldn't trust it because the act of searching already told your body that something is wrong. So you get stuck in the loop. Search, fear, search again. And every time you search, you reinforce the belief that there's something wrong with you. What you actually need is internal reassurance. Being able to say, I've already been evaluated. I understand what's happening to my body. I don't need to keep researching, but internal reassurance cannot grow while you're still asking the internet if you're okay. Honestly, I tell all my clients that they can't watch any more videos or listen to any podcasts. They have to actually implement consistently. Research or information does nothing for you. What works is you telling your reticular activating system and the rest of your body, all your cells, that you're actually going to take steps towards the thing that you want, which is healing. I imagine that's why you're here. Because the thing is, most strategies work. People are just stuck in analysis paralysis and research mode that they don't know which strategy will work for them, and they never take that leap of faith. So what do you do instead? So if research is keeping you stuck, what do you do instead? Here are the 3 shifts that begin breaking this cycle. Number 1, shift your focus, your RAS, from focusing on problems to goals. Right now, most of your attention is on what's wrong. How do I get rid of this pain? What's wrong with my body? Why is my body doing this to me? What inflammation markers are elevated? But the nervous system doesn't just respond to fear, it also responds to purpose. Instead of focusing only on eliminating symptoms, start asking yourself, what do I want my life to look like if the pain wasn't running the show? Maybe you'd walk a 5K. Maybe you'd like to go for a hike with your friends, play with your kids, go out without calculating how much energy it will cost you. Because here's the truth. If your only motivation is, I just want the pain gone, what do you think your brain hears? Pain, pain, pain. But when you start focusing on meaningful goals, on the feelings you'd like to create and the life you'd like to cultivate for yourself, things you want your life to expand into, your nervous system and all your cells start orienting toward possibility instead of threat. Healing becomes about moving towards something, not just trying to escape discomfort. So step 2, redirect your attention back into your body. I believe that you have so much inner wisdom that you are not even close to accessing because all your attention is focused on your screen and focused on what internet people and the algorithm is telling you about how to fix you. You know, your cells know, your inner wisdom knows. It is so much wiser than what's found on your screen, I promise. Research pulls attention outward. If you're constantly scanning articles, studies, and expert opinions trying to figure out what's happening, you'll never be able to access your intuition. Therefore, healing requires bringing your attention back inward. So instead of asking, what's wrong with me? Start asking, what does my body need right now? What is she saying to me? What is she communicating? Maybe she needs rest. Maybe she needs movement. Maybe she needs to slow down breathing and let the nervous system settle. Your body is constantly sending you signals, but when your attention is stuck over here on your phone, you can't hear them. So the shift from research mode to body awareness is where your healing begins. The final thing, if you build daily signals of safety, like gratitude or focusing on your progress and focusing on what's good in your life, your nervous system heals through repeated signals of safety, not once, not occasionally, but consistently over time. Things like slow breathing, gentle movement, and grounding practices tell your body, we're okay, we can come out of survival mode. And there's one practice that is incredibly powerful. And honestly, my favorite practice is gratitude because it's so easy. It can shift your entire nervous system state. When you intentionally notice what's working, what feels good, what your body can do today, you interrupt the brain's threat scanning pattern. And instead of constantly searching for problems, your brain starts recognizing, oh, I'm so grateful for this person in my life. I'm so grateful for this warm cup of tea. Maybe it's gratitude for a walk you were able to take, or just honestly, gratitude for being able to breathe. Do you know you don't actually have to do anything to breathe? You were just given a gift. And it's these small things that we forget because we're always checking out. That's the stuff that matters. That's the stuff that if you do every day consistently, you don't need research. You just need to actually live your life and do what feels good to you. I know gratitude doesn't ignore symptoms, but it changes the environment your nervous system is operating in. And healing happens much faster in a body that feels supported instead of a body that feels constantly under attack. So if you've been stuck in the research loop, I want you to remember this. Your healing is not waiting for the next article or the next protocol or the next podcast episode. Your healing begins the moment your nervous system finally hears the message, I am safe. And safety doesn't come from Google, and safety doesn't come from YouTube. It comes from the relationship you build with your own body. So here's what I want you to do right now. If you're stuck in the research loop, make a decision today that you're done. You're done outsourcing your safety to the internet. You're done telling your body it's in danger. So I did create a free training. It's not for you to watch. It's for you to understand so you know what steps you can take. And if you're ready to take the next step, so remember, this training is to help you understand so that you can make the next best step. It's not there for you to gather information. So only join the link below if you're ready to make some serious steps towards change. So thank you so much for being here. If this resonated, hit the subscribe button. I'm so grateful you're here, and I'll see you in the next video.